Welcome back to our series on bird navigation. And this time it is looking at birds that do follow mum. And indeed, some species of birds are shown the way to migrate by their mother or father. But a great example is the whooping crane, a beautiful, large, rare and endangered species. For the longest time, no one knew where whooping cranes nested. Finally, it was found out that they nested in Canada, in Wood Buffalo National Park. Now, they only raise 1 or 2 chicks each year, that usually called colts as they grow up. So it meant that the growth of the population is always small. The colts learn from their parents how to find food, how to shelter from predators. Mom comes in handy for all these sorts of things. And then as winter approaches, Mum and Dad show the babies how to migrate. And they migrate in family groups. And guess where to? They fly all the way from central Canada to South Texas to the Aransas Wildlife Refuge. The young birds following their parents all the way. You can see the route of this wild western flock on this map, coming down from Canada down into South Texas. And once they have flown the flyway with Mum, the colts can find their own way from then on. Once they get to Aransas National Wildlife Refuge, Mum then teaches them what to feed on: blue crabs, small reptiles, snakes even, fish, wolfberries, and whatever else seems good to a whooping crane. Blue crabs are their especial favorite, but they can be tough to handle, but Mum knows how to do it. During the winter, it's fun to drive down to Rockport and take a boat trip out to see them up close. This rare bird was down to less than 20 individuals in the late 1940s due to overhunting. But now, through careful conservation, there are above 400 birds in this western flock. Other species of birds, such as ducks and geese, also lead family groups down to the wintering grounds. The young of all these species fixate on what they perceive as mama at the time of hatching, and then once led to the wintering grounds, they grow up there, find mates, and then on their own can return to the nesting grounds and then bring their own new family back the next winter. Using this fixation on mama led to an effort to try and re-establish an eastern flock of whooping cranes, and you can see the flight path that was chosen starred in green on this map. This project has mixed success. Crane chicks will bond to a parent puppet. Researchers in costume care for and raise young whooping cranes from eggs collected from a captive flock. They wear costumes to look like adult whooping cranes and so prevent the birds from attaching to humans as their parents. Disguised as mom, they care for and feed the chicks and hope they grow up into colts and get them ready for fledging. Here you are, son. This is what you're looking for. Now we come to the tricky bit. How do you teach the young birds to fly south down to Florida with no natural mum to guide them? The answer was to train the birds to follow an ultralight aircraft, making them think that that was mum. This worked very well, and for several years, cohorts of cranes were flown from Wisconsin down to Florida, usually about 8 to 10 at a time. And then the next spring, they did indeed return to Wisconsin on their own.